Dr. Amanda Clark pressed her face against the small window of the research ship. Stars filled the dark space around them. She had been looking at stars her whole life, but they still made her feel small and amazed. "Amanda, you need to see this?" Jake Morrison called from his seat at the navigation controls. His voice was excited. Jake had been flying ships between planets for 10 years, but he sounded like a kid who just found treasure. Amanda walked over to where Jake sat. The ship's main screen showed something that made her heart beat faster. There, floating in the empty space near the Kepler rift, was something that should not exist. It was made of metal that seemed to shine with its own light. The object was huge, bigger than their research ship, and covered in strange marks that looked like writing. "What is that thing?" Katie Bell asked. She was the ship's engineer, a small woman with oil under her fingernails and a mind that could fix anything. Katie had crawled through more broken engines than most people had hot meals. "I don't know," Amanda said, but her hands were already moving over her computer. As the ship's expert on alien life, she had studied every piece of alien technology humans had ever found. This was different. This was old. Very old. Ryan Torres looked up from his communication station. "Should I call Admiral Stone? He's supposed to know about anything we find out here." Amanda nodded. Admiral Kevin Stone commanded the military ship that was protecting them. The Terran Defense Force always sent warships with research teams. Space could be dangerous, and there were things out there that didn't like humans very much. "Admiral Stone, this is the research ship, Zephyr's Edge," Ryan spoke into his microphone. "We have found something you need to see." Stone's voice came through the speakers. It was cold and professional, the way military people always talked. "What kind of something, Torres?" "An alien artifact, sir. It's big and it's old. Dr. Clark thinks it might be important." There was quiet for a few seconds. Then Stone spoke again. "Send me everything you have on it." Pictures, readings, everything. Amanda worked quickly. Her fingers flew over the controls as she took pictures and measurements of the strange object. The metal was unlike anything humans had ever seen. The writing covered every surface, but it followed patterns that hurt her head to look at. "This is incredible," she whispered to herself. "Jake, can you get us closer?" Jake's hands moved over his controls. The ship moved slowly toward the artifact. As they got closer, Amanda could see more details. The object had sections that looked like they could open. There were what might be doors or windows, but everything was dark inside. "It's a ship," Katie said suddenly. "Look at those marks on the back. Those are engine burns. This thing used to fly." Amanda felt a chill run down her back. Katie was right. This wasn't just some piece of alien art floating in space. This was a spaceship, and it was older than anything humans had ever found. "How old do you think it is?" Jake asked. Amanda looked at her readings. The metal shows radiation patterns that suggest maybe 1,000,000 years, maybe more. Ryan whistled softly. "That's old. That's older than humans have been making tools." The communication system crackled. Stone's voice came through, but it sounded different now. Harder. "Research team, move away from the artifact. That's an order." Amanda looked at Ryan. "Tell him we need more time. This could change everything we know about who lived in space before us." But before Ryan could speak, alarms started going off all over the ship. Red lights flashed. Katie jumped up from her seat. "What's happening?" Amanda asked. Katie looked at her instruments, and her face went white. "We're being targeted. Someone has weapons pointed at us." "That's impossible," Jake said. "Admiral Stone is the only military ship out here." Ryan was already talking into his microphone. "Admiral Stone, we're showing weapon locks. What's your status?" Stone's voice came back, and now it was cold in a way that made Amanda's blood freeze. "Dr. Clark, You and your team have seen something you should not have seen. What are you talking about? Amanda asked, grabbing the microphone from Ryan. That artifact contains information that could destroy the balance of power in this part of space. There are forces out there, alien forces, that have kept the peace for thousands of years. They don't want young races like humans to find certain things. So we'll share the information carefully, Amanda said. We can work with these aliens. Stone laughed, but there was no humor in it. They don't want to work with you, Dr. Clark. They want you dead. And they've made it worth my while to make sure that happens. Amanda felt the world spinning around her. Kevin, you've known me for 3 years. We've worked together before. You can't be serious. I'm sorry, Amanda. I really am. But the hegemony pays better than Earth does. And when they take over human space, I want to be on the winning side. The ship shook as something hit them. Katie ran to her controls, her hands flying over switches and buttons. He's firing on us, she shouted. He's actually firing on us. Jake was already moving, his hands working to turn their ship away from Stone's warship. But research ships weren't built to fight. They were built to study things, not run from people trying to kill them. Another blast hit them. This time, the lights went out for a few seconds. When they came back on, smoke was filling the air. Life support is damaged, Katie reported. I can fix it, but I need time. We don't have time, Jake said through gritted teeth. He was fighting with the controls, trying to keep their ship moving. Amanda grabbed the microphone again. Kevin, please. Think about what you're doing. We're humans. We're your own people. My people are the ones who are going to survive what's coming, Stone replied. The hegemony has plans for humanity. Big plans. And they don't include independent research teams finding ancient technology. Another blast hit them. This time, the damage was worse. Katie was thrown against the wall. Blood ran down her face, but she got back up and kept working. Main engines are gone, Jake reported. We're drifting. Amanda looked at the screen. Stone's warship was turning toward them again. She could see the weapon ports glowing as they charged up for another attack. He's going to finish us off, Ryan said quietly. Amanda closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, she was calm. Katie, how long before life support fails completely? Katie wiped blood from her face and checked her readings. Maybe 6 hours, maybe less if we can't stop these leaks. Jake, can you get a distress signal out? Jake shook his head. Communication array is dead. Even if it wasn't, who would hear? Use out here? Amanda looked at her team. These were good people. Jake had a wife and 2 kids back on Earth. Katie sent half her pay to her sick mother. Ryan was engaged to a teacher on Mars. They didn't deserve to die because some admiral had sold out their entire species. Then we wait, she said. We fix what we conserve air, and we wait. Wait for what? Ryan asked. Amanda looked out. The window at the stars. Somewhere out there, other humans were living their lives. They were working, laughing, falling in love, raising children. They had no idea that their own military was working with aliens who wanted to destroy them. We wait for someone to come looking for us, she said. And if they don't, we make sure our ship's logs survive. Someone needs to know what really happened. Here, Stone's voice came over the communication system one last time. Goodbye, Dr. Clark. For what it's worth, you are good at your job. Then there was silence. Amanda watched Stone's warship disappear into hyperspace, leaving them alone with the ancient artifact and the endless cold stars. Amanda woke up to the sound of Katie coughing. The air in the ship was getting thin. She checked her watch. It had been 3 days since Admiral Stone left them to die in space, not 3 days of slowly freezing to death. Amanda pulled her blanket. tied her around her shoulders, and looked around the small cabin. Jake was sleeping in his pilot chair, but his breathing was shallow and fast. Ryan sat at his communication station, still trying to get a signal out even though they all knew it was hopeless. Katie was the only one still working. She had torn apart half the ship trying to fix their life support system. Her hands were cut and bleeding from working with sharp metal, but she never stopped trying. "How much longer?" Amanda asked softly. Katie looked up from the mess of wires and circuits she was working on. Her face was pale and thin. They had been eating very little to save their food supplies. "Maybe 12 hours if I can't fix this," Katie said. "Maybe less. The carbon dioxide scrubbers are almost done, and the oxygen generator is running on emergency power." Amanda nodded. She had been expecting this answer. She had been a scientist long enough to know when the numbers were bad. "Tell me about the artifact again," Katie said. "It might help me think about something else." Amanda looked at her computer screen. Even though they were dying, she had kept studying the strange alien ship. It was the only thing that kept her mind off their situation. "It's definitely a ship," she said. "But it's not like any ship design I've ever seen. The proportions are all wrong for any known alien species." "What do you mean?" Ryan asked. He had given up on the radio and was listening to their conversation. "Well, look at this," Amanda said, pointing to her screen. "The doorways are too tall and too narrow for most aliens we know about. The control surfaces are positioned in strange places. And the writing is what really bothers me." She pulled up another image on her screen. The alien writing covered every surface of the ship, but it wasn't random. There were patterns like mathematical formulas mixed with what might be star charts. "I've been running translation programs on this for 3 days," Amanda continued. "The computer has found matches with 17 different alien languages. But that's impossible. Those languages are from species that live thousands of light years apart. They've never even met each other." Jake opened his eyes and turned to look at them. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying this ship is old. Really old. Old enough that it might be from before the current alien civilizations even existed." Katie stopped working and stared at Amanda. "You think this is from some kind of ancient civilization?" "I think this ship might be from the first space-traveling species in this part of the galaxy. The ones who came before everyone else." Ryan whistled softly. "No wonder. Admiral Stone wanted us dead. Information like that would be worth a fortune." Amanda shook her head. "It's not about money, Ryan. It's about power. If this ship contains star charts or technology from an ancient civilization, it could change the balance of power between all the alien species." She pulled up another file on her computer. "I've been analyzing the metal composition. This ship is made from materials that don't exist naturally. Someone had to build them atom by atom. The energy required would be enormous. So whoever built this ship had technology that was far ahead of anything we have now," Jake said. "Far ahead of anything anyone has now," Amanda corrected. "Even the most advanced alien species would kill to get their hands on this technology." Katie went back to her work, but Amanda could see she was thinking about what they had discussed. After a few minutes, Katie spoke again. "Amanda, what did Admiral Stone mean when he talked about the hegemony?" Amanda had been wondering about that herself. She had never heard the term before, but the way Stone said it made her think it was important. "I think the hegemony is some kind of alliance between the older alien species," she said. "They might be working together to keep younger species like humans from becoming too powerful." "But why?" Ryan asked. "We're not a threat to anyone." Amanda looked at him sadly. "Ryan, humans have been in space for less than 200 years, and we've already colonized 47 planets. We've fought wars with 3 different alien species, and won 2 of them. We build bigger ships and better weapons every year. Of course we're a threat. Jake sat up straighter in his chair. You think they're planning to attack us? I think they're planning to control us, Amanda said. Stone mentioned that the hegemony has plans for humanity. He said they don't include independent research teams finding ancient technology. The cabin was quiet for a while. The only sounds were the hum of the failing life support system and Katie's tools as she worked. Finally, Ryan spoke. So what do we do? Even if someone finds us, even if we survive this, how do we warn people back on Earth? Amanda looked at her computer screen again. The alien ship floated there in the darkness, full of secrets that might save humanity or destroy. We document everything, she said. Every piece of information we can find about this ship, about the hegemony, about what Stone told us. We put it all in the ship's log, and we make sure it survives even if we don't. The ship's log is encrypted, Jake said. Only military personnel can access it. Then we'll have to trust that there are still honest people in the military, Amanda replied. People who care more about humanity than they do about alien bribes. Katie suddenly sat up straight. Wait, Amanda, come look at this. Amanda floated over to where Katie was working. The engineer had opened a panel in the wall and was staring at something inside. What is it? Amanda asked. This doesn't belong. Here, Katie said, pointing to a small device attached to their communication system. This is a tracking beacon. It's been sending out a signal this whole time. Amanda felt her heart start beating faster. You mean someone knows where we are? Someone's been watching us, Katie said. This beacon is military grade, but it's not standard equipment for research ships. Someone put it here on purpose. Ryan came over to look at the device. Can you tell who's been receiving the signal? Katie examined the beacon more closely. It's encrypted, but I might be able to trace the frequency. Give me a few minutes. While Katie worked, Amanda thought about what this meant. If someone had been tracking their ship, they might know about the artifact. They might know about Admiral Stone's betrayal. But were they friends or enemies? Got it, Katie said suddenly. The signal is being sent to a ship about 6 light years from here. It's moving in our direction, but slowly. How slowly? Jake asked. Katie did some quick calculations. At their current speed, they'll be here in about 4 days. Amanda felt hope and fear fighting in her chest. 4 days was longer than their life support would last. But it was also proof that someone was coming. Can you tell what kind of ship it is? She asked. Katie shook her head. The signal just gives location data. But Amanda, there's something else. The beacon has been sending more than just our location. It's been sending detailed information about everything we've found, including the artifact, Ryan said quietly. Including the artifact, Katie confirmed. Amanda looked out the window at the ancient alien ship floating in the darkness. Somewhere out there, someone was coming for them. But she didn't know if they were coming to rescue them or to finish what Admiral Stone had started. We need to prepare for both possibilities, she said finally. Katie, can you rig the life support to last another day? Maybe, Katie said. But we'll have to shut down everything except basic systems. Heat, lights, computers, everything. Do it, Amanda said. And Jake, I want you to program the navigation system to move us away from the artifact. If whoever's coming wants to kill us, at least we can make them work for it. Where do we go? Jake asked. Amanda looked at her star charts. There's an asteroid field about 2 hours from here. We can hide among the rocks and wait to see what happens. As Katie and Jake worked to prepare the ship, Amanda continued studying the alien artifact. She had a feeling that whatever was coming, this ancient ship was the key to everything. The hegemony wanted it destroyed, but maybe, just maybe, it contained something that could help humanity survive. What was coming? She just hoped they would live long enough to find out what it was. Amanda was dreaming about her childhood, home when the universe exploded around her. The first thing she felt was the ship shaking so hard that her teeth rattled. Then came the sound, a deep, roaring noise that seemed to come from everywhere at once. The emergency lights came on, flashing red and making everything look like it was covered in blood. What's happening? She shouted over the noise. Katie was already at her controls, her fingers flying over the instruments. Something big just dropped out of hyperspace. Really big and really close. Amanda pulled herself to the nearest window and looked out. What she saw made her forget how to breathe. A human warship hung in space near them, and it was the most beautiful and terrifying thing she had ever seen. It was huge, bigger than any ship Amanda had ever seen before. Black metal covered its surface, and weapon ports lined its sides like the teeth of some ancient monster. "That's not a normal military ship," Jake said, his voice full of awe. "Look at the size of those engines. Look at those weapons." Ryan was already working at his communication station. "I'm getting a signal. They're calling us." "Put it through," Amanda said. A man's voice came through their speakers. It was calm and strong, with just a hint of an accent Amanda couldn't place. "Research vessel Zephyr's Edge. This is Captain Luke Harrison of the USS Reaper's Dawn. We are here to help you." Amanda grabbed the microphone. "Captain Harrison, this is Dr. Amanda Clark. We are in serious trouble. Our life support is failing, and we have information about a threat to humanity." "We know, Dr. Clark. We've been tracking your ship for the past 4 days. We're sending over a rescue team now." Amanda looked at Katie. "How did they find us so fast?" Katie was studying her instruments. "That tracking beacon? It wasn't just sending our location to one ship. It was sending to multiple ships. The military must have been watching us the whole time. But why didn't they help us sooner?" Ryan asked. Before anyone could answer, their ship shook again. This time it was different, gentler, but still powerful. "They're using a tractor beam," Jake said. "They're pulling us into their docking bay." Amanda looked out the window again. The warship was so large that their entire research ship would fit inside it like a toy. As they got closer, she could see markings on the hull. The name Reaper's Dawn was painted in large white letters, and below it was a symbol she had never seen before, a human skull with stars for eyes. "That's not a standard military symbol," she said. "No," Katie agreed. "It's not." The rescue happened quickly. One moment they were floating in their dying ship. The next they were surrounded by people in military uniforms who moved with purpose and efficiency. Amanda found herself being carried through corridors that seemed to go on forever. The people who rescued them were different from normal military personnel. They moved like predators, their eyes constantly scanning for threats. Their uniforms were black instead of the usual blue, and they carried weapons Amanda had never seen before. They brought Amanda and her team to a medical bay, where a woman doctor immediately began checking them over. The doctor was Asian, with kind eyes, but hands that moved with military precision. "I'm Commander Lisa Park," she said as she examined Amanda. "You're going to be fine, but you are very close to carbon dioxide poisoning. Another few hours, and we would have been too late." "Thank you," Amanda said. "But we need to speak with Captain Harrison immediately. We have information about a threat to humanity." Dr. Park looked at her seriously. "He's waiting for you. But first, let me ask you something. Do you know what the Reaper's Dawn is?" Amanda shook her head. "We're part of the Never Again fleet," Dr. Park explained. "We were created after the Tau SETI incident, when humanity realized that being nice to aliens doesn't always work. Our job is to protect human interests, no matter what it takes." "I've never heard of the Never Again fleet," Amanda said. "Most people haven't." We operate in the deep space between star systems, looking for threats to humanity. When we find them, we eliminate them. Dr. Park finished her examination and led Amanda through more corridors. The ship was even larger than Amanda had thought. They passed training rooms where soldiers practiced combat moves, workshops where technicians worked on weapons, and command centers filled with screens showing star charts and ship movements. Finally, they reached the bridge. Captain Luke Harrison stood at the center of the room, and Amanda could see why his crew followed him. He was tall and lean, with gray hair and eyes that seemed to see everything. When he looked at Amanda, she felt like he was reading her thoughts. "Dr. Clark," he said, his voice carrying easily across the bridge. "I understand you have some interesting information for me." Amanda looked around the bridge. Besides Captain Harrison, there were other officers working at various stations. A man who looked like he was in charge of weapons sat at one console. A woman who seemed to be the ship's navigator worked at another. "Captain," Amanda began, "we discovered an ancient alien artifact. Admiral Kevin Stone of the Terran Defense Force tried to kill us to prevent us from reporting it. He said he was working with something called the hegemony." Captain Harrison's expression didn't change, but Amanda saw something cold and dangerous flash in his eyes. "Tell me everything," he said. Amanda spent the next hour explaining everything that had happened. She told him about the artifact, about Stone's betrayal, about the hegemony's plans for humanity. Captain Harrison listened without interrupting, but Amanda could see him getting angrier with every word. When she finished, Captain Harrison was quiet for a long moment. Then he turned to one of his officers. "Major Alex Chun, what do you know about the hegemony?" The weapons officer, a serious-looking man in his 30s, looked up from his station. "Intelligence reports suggest it's an alliance of older alien species, sir. They've been working together to keep younger species from becoming too powerful. We've suspected they were influencing human politics, but we didn't have proof. Now we do," Captain Harrison said, "and we have a traitor to deal with." He turned back to Amanda. "Dr. Clark, I need you to tell me everything you learned about that artifact. Every detail, no matter how small." Amanda pulled out her portable computer and showed him all her research. As she explained what she had discovered, she watched Captain Harrison's face grow more serious. "You're saying the ship contains star charts to ancient jump gates?" he asked. "Yes, the Birth World Network, I called it. It seems to be a system of gates that connect different parts of the galaxy. If someone controlled those gates, they could move ships anywhere instantly. And the hegemony wants to make sure no one else finds out about it," Captain Harrison said. "That's what I think. Admiral Stone said they wanted to maintain the balance of power. If younger species like humans got access to this technology, it would change everything." Captain Harrison turned to another officer, a woman with short blonde hair who was working at the navigation station. "Lieutenant Maria Santos, how long would it take to modify our weapons to breach alien shield technology?" "What kind of alien shield, sir?" she asked. "The kinds that can protect ships the size of small moons." Lieutenant Santos looked surprised, but she quickly began working on her computer. "Give me 12 hours, sir. Maybe less if I can use some of the theories Dr. Clark developed about alien technology." Captain Harrison nodded. "Do it. And Major Chun, I want you to start planning an attack strategy. We're going to need to hit multiple targets simultaneously." "Sir," Amanda said, "what are you planning?" Captain Harrison looked at her with those cold, dangerous eyes. "Dr. Clark, Admiral. Stone thought he could sell out humanity for alien protection. The hegemony thought they could eliminate threats to their power by killing a few scientists. They're both about to learn that humans don't die quietly." He turned to face the main screen, which showed a star chart of the local sector. The never again fleet was created for exactly this situation. When diplomacy fails, when peaceful solutions are impossible, when humanity is threatened by forces that want to destroy us, we step in. We don't negotiate. We don't compromise. We eliminate the threat. Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. You're talking about war. No, Dr. Clark. War is what happens between equals. This is going to be an extermination. The hegemony wanted to control humanity's future. Instead, they're going to learn why every other species in the galaxy is afraid of us. Captain Harrison turned back to his crew. All hands, battle stations. We have a traitor to hunt and an alien conspiracy to destroy. It's time to show the galaxy what the Reaper's Dawn can do. As alarms began sounding throughout the ship, Amanda realized that her rescue was just the beginning. The real fight was about to start. Captain Harrison's hunt for Admiral Stone took them to the dark places between stars where honest people never went. Amanda stood on the bridge of the Reaper's Dawn, watching the screens as they tracked their target. 3 weeks had passed since her rescue, and she had learned that the universe was much more dangerous than she had ever imagined. Contact ahead, reported Major Alex Chun from his weapons station. It's Stone's ship, the Defiant. But he's not. Alone, Amanda looked at the main screen. Admiral Stone's ship was docked with something that made her blood run cold. The alien vessel was organic-looking, like it had been grown instead of built. Its surface was covered in what looked like scales, and it pulsed with a sickly green light. That's a hegemony bioship, Captain Harrison said quietly. I've seen them before. They're built for one purpose, to destroy entire planets. Lieutenant Maria Santos looked up from her engineering station. Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures from that ship. It's powering up for something big. Red alert, Harrison ordered. All hands to battle stations. Amanda felt the ship change around her. The lights dimmed to a red glow, and she could hear the sound of weapons charging. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person knowing exactly what to do. Dr. Clark, Harrison said, I need you to go to the secure cabin we prepared for you. This is going to get dangerous. No, Amanda said. I want to see this. Stone tried to kill me and my team. I want to watch him pay for it. Harrison looked at her for a moment, then nodded. Stay behind the blast shields. And if I tell you to run, you run. The Reaper's Dawn moved closer to the two ships. Amanda could see Admiral Stone's ship more clearly now. It looked small and weak next to the alien vessel, like a minnow swimming. Next to a shark. Incoming transmission, reported Ryan Torres. Her communications officer had volunteered to serve on Harrison's ship, and he was learning to use military-grade equipment. Put it through, Harrison ordered. Admiral Stone's face appeared on the main screen. He looked older than Amanda remembered, and there were lines of stress around his eyes. But his voice was still cold and professional. Captain Harrison, you're making a mistake. Turn around and leave, and the hegemony might let you live. Stone, Harrison replied, his voice like ice. You're a traitor to your own species. You've sold out humanity for alien promises that you'll never live to collect. Stone laughed, but it sounded forced. You think you can fight the hegemony? They've been controlling this part of space for thousands of years. They have weapons. That can destroy stars. Then they should have used them on us already. Harrison said. The alien ship suddenly came alive with activity. Amanda could see weapons ports opening along its hull, revealing organic-looking cannons that glowed with the same green light as the ship's surface. They're powering weapons, Major Chun reported. Energy levels are off the charts. All weapons. Fire at will. Harrison ordered. The Reaper's Dawn opened fire with everything it had. Amanda watched in amazement as streams of energy lanced out from their ship toward the alien vessel. The weapons were unlike anything she had seen before. They seemed to tear holes in space itself. The alien ship returned fire, sending waves of green energy toward them. The Reaper's Dawn shook as the alien weapons hit their shields, but the shields held. "Shields at 70%, Lieutenant Santos reported. "But Captain, I'm reading something strange. The alien ship ... It's not trying to destroy us. It's trying to capture us." Harrison frowned. "What do you mean?" "The weapons they're using are designed to disable our engines and life support, not to blow us up. They want us alive." Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. "Captain, when I was studying the artifact, I found references to something called the Specimen Program. I think the hegemony has been capturing humans for experiments." "What kind of experiments?" Harrison asked. "They want to know what makes us dangerous. Why we're so good at fighting. Why we never give up." Harrison's face went pale. "Major Chun, target their weapon systems. I want that ship disabled, not destroyed. We're going aboard." The battle continued for another 10 minutes. The Reaper's Dawn's weapons slowly wore down the alien ship's defenses, while the alien ship tried desperately to disable them. Finally, the alien vessel's weapons went dark. "Their weapons are offline," Chun reported. "But Captain, Admiral Stone's ship is trying to run." "Lock onto them with a tractor beam," Harrison ordered. "Stone isn't going anywhere." The Reaper's Dawn's tractor beam caught Stone's ship just as it was trying to jump to hyperspace. The smaller ship was pulled back toward them, its engines sparking and smoking. "Stone to Harrison," came the transmission. "You don't know what you're doing. The hegemony will destroy Earth for this." "Maybe," Harrison replied. "But they'll have to get through the Never-Again fleet first." "And Stone?" "You're going to tell U.S. everything you know about their plans." Harrison turned to his security chief, a large man named Colonel Nick Adams. "Nick, take a team and secure both ships. I want prisoners, not bodies. We need information." "What about the humans they've captured?" Amanda asked. Harrison looked at her seriously. "What do you mean?" "The alien ship is huge. If they've been running experiments on humans, there might be prisoners aboard." "Chun, do you have any life signs?" "From the alien ship?" Major Chun studied his instruments. "Yes, sir. I'm reading human life signs. Lots of them. They're being held in the lower sections of the ship." Harrison's jaw tightened. "Change of plans. Nick, we're going in heavy. I want every prisoner rescued and every alien on that ship either captured or killed. No exceptions." The boarding operation took 2 hours. Amanda watched from the bridge as teams of Marines in black armor moved through both ships. The fighting was fierce. The aliens didn't surrender easily, but humans were better at close combat. The Marines moved through the alien ship like a force of nature, rescuing prisoners and eliminating threats. When they reached the command center, they found something that made Amanda sick to her stomach. "Captain," came Colonel Adams' voice. "Over the radio, you need to see this. The alien commander is still alive, and he's talking." "What's he saying?" Harrison asked. "He's saying that the Specimen Program has been running for 20 years. They've been capturing humans from isolated colonies and border worlds. They've been trying to figure out why we're so good at war." "And what did they find out?" There was a pause. "Sir, they found out that we're not just good at war. We're good at everything. We adapt faster than any other species they've ever seen. We learn from our mistakes. We never give up. And we're willing to sacrifice everything to protect our people." Harrison looked at Amanda. "That's why they want to destroy us. Not because we're weak, but because we're strong." "But Captain," Adams continued, "there's something else. The prisoners we rescued, some of them are from colonies that were supposed to be destroyed by alien attacks. The hegemony has been staging fake attacks to cover up their kidnapping operations." Amanda felt anger building in her chest. How many people have they taken? Thousands, sir, maybe tens of thousands. And they're not done. We found star charts showing planned attacks on 12 more human colonies. Harrison was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was deadly calm. Nick, bring me the alien commander. And bring me Admiral Stone. I want to talk to both of them. 20 minutes later, Admiral Stone and the alien commander were brought to the bridge. Stone looked defeated, his uniform torn and dirty. The alien was something Amanda had never seen before, tall and thin, with gray skin and large black eyes that seemed to hold ancient intelligence. Admiral Stone, Harrison said, his voice cold, you're going to tell me everything you know about the hegemonies. Plans. Every detail, every timeline, every target. Stone shook his head. You don't understand, Harrison. The hegemony isn't just one species. It's dozens of them, all working together. They have ships that can destroy entire star systems. If you fight them, they'll wipe out every human colony in space. Let them try, Harrison said. Dr. Clark, show him what we found on the artifact. Amanda pulled up her research on the main screen. The star charts from the ancient ship filled the display, showing the birth-world network that connected different parts of the galaxy. This is why they wanted us dead, she explained to Stone. These gates could give humanity access to any part of the galaxy instantly. We could move our fleets anywhere, strike anywhere, be anywhere. It would make us equal to them. The alien commander suddenly spoke. Its voice was like the sound of wind through dry leaves. You do not understand, young species. The birth world network was destroyed for good reason. The civilization that built it used it to conquer half the galaxy before we stopped them. Who's we? Harrison asked. The hegemony was formed to prevent any species from gaining that kind of power again. We maintain the balance. We keep the peace. By kidnapping and experimenting on innocent people? Amanda asked angrily, the alien's large eyes focused on her. We study threats. Humans are ... unprecedented. In 200 years, you have advanced faster than most species do in thousands. You are dangerous. Harrison stepped closer to the alien. You're right, we are dangerous. And you've just given us a very good reason to show you exactly how dangerous we can be. He turned to Major Chun. Send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them we found evidence of alien attacks on human colonies. The Vega system was full of alien ships when the Reaper's Dawn arrived. Amanda stood on the bridge, looking at the main screen in shock. There were hundreds of them, massive bioships that looked like living creatures, sleek metal vessels with weapon arrays that could destroy planets, and command ships the size of small moons. My God, she whispered. How many ships are there? Computer counts 437 vessels, Major Alex Chun reported. And Captain, they're all moving toward the hyperspace jump points that lead to human space. Captain Harrison studied the display with calm eyes. This is it. This is their invasion fleet. They're planning to hit every human colony at the same time. Sir, Lieutenant Maria Santos called from her engineering station. I'm reading massive energy buildups throughout the fleet. They're charging weapons and preparing for hyperspace jumps. Amanda felt sick. We have to warn Earth. We have to tell them what's coming. We will, Harrison said. But first, we're going to make sure there's nothing left to warn them about. Captain, Chun said carefully, we're one ship against 400. Even with our advanced weapons, the math doesn't work. Harrison turned to look at his crew. Major Chun, how long have you been studying alien combat tactics? 15 years, sir. And in all that time, what's the one thing every alien species has in common when they fight? Chun thought for a moment. They fight like they think. Sir, logically, methodically. They use overwhelming force and expect their enemies to surrender when the odds are impossible. Exactly, Harrison said. They don't understand humans at all. They think like a civilization that's had peace for thousands of years. We think like a species that's been fighting since we learned to walk. He turned to Santos. Maria, are those weapon modifications ready? Yes, sir. Our quantum torpedoes can now breach any known alien shield technology. And I've managed to increase our firing rate by 300%. Outstanding. And Nick? Harrison called to Colonel Adams. Marines are ready, sir. All rescue teams are standing by. Harrison nodded. Dr. Clark, I need you to do something for me. What? Amanda asked. I need you to access the Birthworld network. Can you use that alien artifact to open the ancient jump gates? Amanda stared at him. Captain, we don't know what those gates might do. They could be dangerous. They could be traps. Or they could be exactly what we need to turn this fight around. Amanda looked at the alien fleet on the screen. So many ships. So many weapons pointed at human space. At human children. I'll try. She said. Jake, Harrison called to her former navigator, who was now serving as the ship's pilot. Take us to the artifact. Best possible speed. The Reaper's Dawn moved through space like a hunting shark. The alien artifact still floated where they had left it, ancient and mysterious. As they approached, Amanda worked frantically at her computer, trying to understand the alien technology. The gates are connected to a central control system. She reported, if I can activate it, I should be able to open jump points anywhere in the galaxy. How long? Harrison asked. 20 minutes, maybe less. You have 10 minutes, Harrison said. Because in 10 minutes, that invasion fleet is going to realize we're here. Amanda's fingers flew over her keyboard. The alien writing on the artifact began to make sense as her translation programs finally cracked the ancient code. The ship wasn't just a vessel. It was a key. A key to the greatest transportation network ever built. I'm in, she said suddenly. Captain, I can open gates anywhere you want. Open them inside the alien fleet, Harrison ordered. As many as you can. But what are you going to send through them? Harrison smiled that terrible smile again. Us. The first gate opened like a flower made of light, right in the middle of the alien formation. Ships scattered as the jump point appeared, but it was too late. The Reaper's Dawn shot through the gate and emerged inside their lines. All weapons fire. Harrison shouted. The Reaper's Dawn unleashed everything it had. Quantum torpedoes streaked out in all directions, each one finding an alien ship and tearing through their shields like they were made of paper. The ship's main guns fired continuously, cutting through alien hulls and exploding power cores. But the real surprise came when the aliens tried to fight back. Captain, Adams reported from the Marine deck, we're being boarded. But sir, these aliens, they don't know how to fight in close quarters. Harrison activated the ship's internal communication system. All hands, repel boarders. Show them what humans do to things that threaten our families. The battle inside the ship was over quickly. The aliens were used to fighting with technology and overwhelming numbers. They had never learned to fight. With knives and bare hands in narrow corridors, the human Marines cut through them like they were children. Gate 2 opening, Amanda called out. She had gotten the hang of the system now and was opening jump points throughout the alien fleet. The Reaper's Dawn jumped again, appearing behind a massive command ship. This time, Harrison tried something different. Maria rammed the engines of that command ship full power. Sir, that will destroy us too. No, it won't. Amanda, open a gate right in front of us. Make it lead back to the edge of the system. Amanda opened the gate just as the Reaper's Dawn slammed into the alien command ship. The massive explosion tore through both vessels, but the Reaper's Dawn shot through the gate at the last second. emerging safely at the edge of the system. "Damage report," Harrison called. "Hull breach on Deck 7, but we're intact," Santos reported. "Sir, that alien command ship is completely destroyed. And without their command ship, look what's happening to their fleet," Chun added. On the main screen, Amanda could see the alien ships beginning to scatter. Without central coordination, they didn't know how to respond to the human tactics. They had never faced an enemy that could appear anywhere, strike without warning, and disappear before they could respond. "Open more gates," Harrison ordered. "Let's finish this." For the next hour, the Reaper's Dawn used the Birthworld network to appear and disappear throughout the alien fleet. Each time they emerged, they destroyed several ships before jumping away. The aliens tried to adapt, but they couldn't. They had been fighting the same way for thousands of years. Finally, Amanda opened a gate right next to the largest alien ship, a biovessel that dwarfed everything else in the fleet. "That's their flagship, the alien prisoner on their bridge," said quietly. "Hegemon Prime Vorthic commands from there." "Perfect," Harrison said. "Maria, I want you to overload our reactor. Set it to go critical in 60 seconds. Sir, if we do that, we'll take their flagship with us." "Amanda, open one. More gate, small one, just big enough for escape pods." "Captain," Amanda said, "you're not thinking of." "I'm thinking of making sure the hegemony never threatens humanity again." The Reaper's Dawn moved toward the alien flagship like a missile. Alarms were going off throughout the ship as the crew abandoned their stations and ran for the escape. "Pods, 30 seconds to reactor breach," Santos called out. "All hands, abandon ship," Harrison ordered. "This is Captain Harrison. It's been an honor serving with you." Amanda found herself in an escape pod with Jake, Katie, and Ryan, her original crew from what seemed like a lifetime ago. Through the small window, she watched the Reaper's Dawn ram into the side of the alien flagship. The explosion was like a new star being born. The two massive ships disappeared in a ball of white light that lit up the entire system. When the light faded, both ships were gone, but so was the invasion fleet. Without their command structure, without their flagship, without their Hegemon Prime, the surviving alien ships fled in all directions. "Did we win?" Katie asked softly. Amanda looked at the empty space where hundreds of alien ships had been. "I think we did." 6 months later, Amanda stood in her new office at the Interstellar Defense Academy on Earth. Through her window, she could see human ships launching every day, exploration vessels, colony ships, and warships of the new fleet. Jake knocked on her door. He was wearing the uniform of a ship captain now, about to take command of his own exploration vessel. "Ready for the ceremony?" he asked. Amanda nodded. Today they were dedicating a memorial to Captain Harrison and the crew of the Reaper's Dawn. The man who had saved humanity would never know that his sacrifice had changed everything. The hegemony had retreated to the far side of the galaxy. Other alien species, freed from their control, were reaching out to humanity with offers of alliance. The Birthworld network was being studied by human scientists, opening up possibilities that would have seemed like magic just a year ago. And Admiral Stone? He was spending the rest of his life in a prison cell, thinking about what it meant to betray your own species. As Amanda walked to the ceremony, she thought about that night when she had floated in the darkness, certain that she was going to die unknown and forgotten. She had been wrong. Her discovery had led to humanity taking its place among the stars. But more than that, it had proven something the aliens had never understood about humans. When you threaten their families, when you try to make them slaves, when you leave them to die in the cold darkness of space, they don't just survive. They come back, and they bring friends. The ceremony was simple but powerful. As Amanda listened to the speeches about heroism and sacrifice, she received a message on her communication. Device. It was from the edge of known space. Another human she.